Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, happy Halloween, guys.
What are you dressing up for, and what's the last thing you dressed up as?
Oh, my gosh, that's a great question. I think, with everything I've been dealing with snakes and things, I'm going to dress up as Matt Damon. We bought a zoo, so that's what I'm going to go with. But honestly, the last thing I think I dressed up as, man, it was definitely something that my wife did for, like, her 40th birthday party. It was actually a pretty cool Rager, and I was a pimp. Yep, sure was.
Did you have a cane, like a walking stick? Did you have a cane?
Were you there? Because I actually did have a walking stick and a cane. So you must have actually been there, or you've seen photos.
Or he is one.
Or I am one.
No. Maybe back in the day, boys, but no, I'm a changed man.
Well, Coach, a little birdie told us that they were actually in your house. More animal control at the Schottenheimers?
Well, that's why you asked me what I'm going to be for Halloween, and I think Matt Damon's very fitting. We bought a zoo that has snakes and owls, and next thing might be elephants. I mean, so we're just going through the list of things that we can purchase to add to the excitement at the Schottenheimer household.
How did you get the owl out of the house? And what were your attempts?
How did you get it into the house?
Well, no. Here's the best part. So if I was home, which I wasn't, I would have been outside where the owl came from because I don't mess with wildlife. So, again, this goes down in the lore of a coach's wife, right? So my wife was actually out. She was working out, and my son called, and he was freaking out. And he's like, something just big bird flew in. And so my nephew was around. And so the two of them, my son, who's like 21, my nephew's like 24, we're trying to get the owl out, and you should see. I mean, the things on Instagram from my wife is hilarious. But like they're trying to get the owl, and then they called animal control, and don't remember the gentleman's name. But all this is going on while I'm doing Red Zone, so it's like, hey, I didn't see any of it till about 10 o'clock last night, and it was very. My wife was actually in very good spirits, all things considered. And again, like everyone wants to know, the owl's fine. We got the owl out.
Okay.
The owl's fine. And so I don't want you guys to worry another second about the owl.
Yes, we lost a lot of sleep over it, Coach. Brian Schottenheimer here on The Fan. Coach, we have to ask you about this. Fans are pretty livid. Jerry will be on at 10:30 with KNC, but this comment about oil and gas, I could be fixing the defense. Fans are pretty ticked off. Saying this shows is not 100% commitment. Your reaction to Jerry's comments?
I did hear the comments, and again, to me, I understand why fans might get worked up about that. But I will say this: I mean, like, shoot, we sit down every Monday, every Friday. Myself, the coordinators, Jerry, Steven, Jerry Jr. I mean, we have such lengthy conversations, and Jerry and Steven and I talk almost every day. By phone as well. And at the end of the day, I can promise you one thing. No one wants to win more than Jerry Jones, and it's our job to go out there and do that. So that's what we're focused on. And, again, we're excited about the opportunity to come back home to AT&T and play the Cardinals on Monday night.
So your time spent with Jerry as the GM is pretty much the same as you've seen in other organizations. There's nothing that unconventional about it with his title and all the other things he has going on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, it's probably hour and a half, 2-hour meeting on Monday, probably a 45-minute hour meeting, touching base on Fridays, getting ready for games. And the communication is very strong. And, of course, we've got a great staff along with what we're trying to do. And my conversations with those guys, including Will McClay, is daily. And I think that's important. And, again, the only way I know how to work is with open lines of communication. And it's always been that way from day one.
Coach, some people think, the Cardinals are trying to play some games with Kyler's availability and working out other quarterbacks. I'm not asking you about that specifically. What I'd like to ask you about is take us behind the extra prep time. We know you're not going to answer specific, injury questions. Is this guy play?
Of course not.
What does that do in terms of, more added prep time or another headache when there's a little bit of a question, a lot of a question in terms of the CIA world of the NFL and talking about injuries? How does that affect your prep time?
Well, first of all, again, Bobby, you can call me later. I'll give you all the good. I'll give you all the information.
What the hell?
Just you got the numbers.
Yeah,
so
we'll
give me a
catch
shout,
up.
But
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I think here's the big deal is like you never know, and so like we've had a good first couple days, so we kept Wednesday the same and yesterday the same, which is Wednesday was first, second down. Yesterday it was third down. Today we're doing kind of a review of first, second, and third down because that's the biggest percentage of the game is dealing with normal down and distance and third downs, and we'll do a little review of that, and then we'll get the guys out of here, and then they'll be back in tomorrow. And tomorrow's like a normal Friday for us. And but the biggest thing for us, again, our focus right now is on, okay, what do we need to do better? And there's clearly a number of things we need to do better on both sides of the ball and special teams. And so this extra day gives us a chance to really focus in on getting some more walkthrough reps and really cleaning up the communication and the details. Because at the end of the day, when we play well and we play consistent, we're pretty damn good. And then when we don't, then we're not going to have a chance to win as many games. And that's why I think we find ourselves where we are right now. It's the inconsistency of the execution, the inconsistency of the coaching. And again, we got to get it turned around. And we're kind of viewing this game, guys, like a one-game season. And it's not because it's the last game, surely, but we always do. But it's the game before the bye, and we'd love to go into the bye sitting at 4-4-1.
Brian Schottenheimer joining us here on 105 through the Fan. Coach, do you think there was anything about that Denver game specifically that you'll see other teams try to borrow against your offense or scheme against your offense with the rest of the year?
I don't know. I think we certainly left some plays out there that we didn't make, didn't capitalize. I think that again, there's certainly some plays I'd like to have, back that I called. But again, I think this is a copycat league. Everybody looks at people, and when you slow down an offense that's as explosive as ours, I think that there'll be people that study the film. But what's really interesting, guys, is like if you're a 4-down defense, really mostly you study our opponents that play us 4 down. If you're a 3-4 defense, you study people that play 3-4, and that's why, because each scheme offensively, you have things that you want to feature against 3-4 family, trees, the Vic Fangios, the Philadelphias, things like that, and then the 4-down trees. So I do think teams will look at it, but it's going to be more so the teams that play 4 down.
Coach, Jerry had mentioned earlier in the week and has been said before that he expects that you're going to increase your time during the week with the defensive staff, moving forward. If you're increasing your time with the defensive staff during the week, why shouldn't that be viewed as a lack of confidence in the job that Matt Eberflus has done?
Well, I think number one is it's that we all realize we have not played well enough or consistently enough on either side of the ball. The defense obviously has struggled at times this year. We know that. We own that. And my job as the head coach is to do things to go in and solve problems. And again, it's got nothing to do with the confidence in what we're trying to do or what our players can do. It's going in there and saying, okay, let's get another voice and someone that's been around football a long time. I've got the expertise on the offensive side of the ball. I can communicate things that cause problems for us. And it's not about pointing blame. It's not about any of that. It's about getting the damn thing fixed. And that's what our focus is right now, is getting it fixed. I sense the frustration with our players. I sense the frustration with our defensive staff. So therefore I understand the frustration with the fans, but we're the ones that can solve it. The fans can't, and it starts with me and me going in and sitting in meetings and asking some very, strong and direct questions is a good way for us to make sure we're all on the same page.
Brian Schottenheimer joining us here on the Fan. So, Coach, where do you think, because the defense has taken its lumps, let's look at it, I guess, a little bit silver lining instead. Where do you think the defense has improved from week 1 to now? What do you like that your defense is doing right now?
Well, I do think that, again, it's a hard question to answer because it comes and goes. But, we're at our best, guys, when we're affecting the quarterback, right? We affected Jaden Daniels. We affected Justin Fields, right? When we're not getting pressure on the quarterback, then guess what? We're not very good, because winning and owning the line of scrimmage is the second part of our football mantra. And the weeks that we've played very poorly, really on both sides of the ball, have been weeks that we've struggled up front. And that's, again, Carolina, they kicked our ass at the line of scrimmage. And then, again, this past week, Denver got after us pretty good. But I do think that we've shown the ability to hit the quarterback, sack the quarterback. And that's where, again, we need to continue to do that. It's going to be no different this week with Arizona and Kyler, a guy that knows how to move around and run. But it all starts up front in football and certainly in pro football. And that's where, again, we need to make the biggest strides from a consistency standpoint.
Coach, Bill Parcells, when he was here, famously said, "I don't coach penalties." Y'all are top 5 in pre-snap and I think number 2 in overall. Philosophically, do you believe that penalties, you don't coach penalties, that it's not on the coaches, that it's more on the players, or is that more, instance by instance?
No, I always start with the coaches. That's just the way I am. I start with me, quite honestly, guys. I start with me, and, penalties are part of the game, okay? But, again, I'm going to break it down this way, right? The combative penalties should happen. I want our guys playing on the edge, man. I want our guys playing physical. I want our guys playing through the echo of the whistle. I want guys finishing, through piles and taking guys to the ground with violence. I do want that. What I don't want is us lining up off sides on third down when we're off the field, and then because of something so simple as lining up off sides, we have to go back out on the field and they get a conversion on third down and they go down, score a touchdown. Or conversely, we're down on the 1 yard line and we jump. Now, is that just the players? No, it's not just the players. It's the coaches making sure we're staying on the details during practice. And is it as simple as a coach yelling, "Hey, back up"? Yeah, sometimes it is. So it's always going to start with me. Then it goes to the coaches, but certainly the players have to take their responsibility as well. And because it does hurt your ability to win, guys.
Brian Schottenheimer joined us here at 105.3 The Fan. I wanted to ask you about Tyler Guyton. During the games, I know you're not on social media during the games, but there's a lot of discourse about him and his development. Where are you with his development? A little disappointed in how he hasn't come along as fast as he should have?
There's high standards and high expectations for Tyler, and I get that. Here's a first-round draft pick. What I would remind everybody of is this is an incredibly talented young man. It does take a while for this to come together. I'll share with you quickly before I get back to it. We drafted DeBrickshaw Ferguson my first or second year, I guess, in New York, and after 1 year, literally we thought Brick was going to be a total bust. Like literally we're like, there's a guy by the name of Jason Trusnick, undrafted defensive end that every day in practice would run around DeBrickshaw Ferguson. And we were literally like, oh, my God, what have we done? Oh, this is terrible. Oh, my God. And then literally now DeBrickshaw sits in the Ring of Honor at the New York Jets. It takes time. And you're talking about a guy that was on defense for a while. Then he played right tackle. He's moved to left tackle. He hasn't had really a entire full training camp yet because of the knee this year, the illness 2 years ago. Just he's talented. Mm-hmm. He wants to be great. He's being worked on. And, again, he's going to get there. And it's our job to help him get there. But, again, you got to be patient, especially when you're talking about a left tackle in the National Football League. You're going up against war daddies every freaking week.
There's a gambling scandal that's really hit sports, baseball, NBA. Have y'all had discussions with the players about like the importance of not getting involved in that and staying away, or is that something that you just don't talk about with them?
No, again, the NFL, the NFLPA, they do a great job. They send out a bunch of emails and memos and things like that. But no, again, I know the culture of the guys that we have and the type of character we have in the guys. But again, I understand why it's such a hot topic in sports circles today.
All right, last one, non-Cowboys question here. This is the $1,000 question, really. Are you aware of the Brian Schottenheimer bounty?
Well, first of all, do I get the $1,000 if I answer correctly, or does somebody else?
No, we get it.
We would get it.
We would get it.
Oh.
We would get it.
Okay, well, no, but I'm scared, so please tell me what it is. I'm a little bit scared.
Okay, so this was on a Barstool podcast, and a guy I believe is a former teammate of yours on that non-undefeated national title you won at Florida.
Say it again. I didn't hear. What was our record? I can't remember.
I think you had a one loss. You had one loss. You avenged it. You avenged it though. Later that year.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But Andy Staples. Do you know where I'm going with this? By the way, no idea.
I really don't. I'm fascinated. I'm on the edge of my seat.
When you were at Georgia, he said, I bounty on this. He wants to know why you started Fatan Bauta against Florida. when you were the OC.
And he'll pay any Cowboy media member $1,000 for asking you, and we have the first chance. So make today payday, please.
Hey, well, listen, I do know the answer. And it's a long answer. So unfortunately, your guys' show is not long enough. We're gonna have to
I'll get it in the text from you, Shotty.
If you would have asked me right when we started, you guys would have $1,000 to spend this weekend,
Coach.
But instead, dinner's going to be on you guys tonight for date night.
Coach, we don't even care about the answer. We asked. We're getting paid.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy Halloween, and good luck Monday.
Thanks, guys. Hey, remember, stop by. We bought a zoo, and Matt Damon when you get a chance.
Brian Schottenheimer, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee Company, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys.